Hi guys, today we're going to be learning lesson 3-5 in our textbook. The topic is how to write and graph equations of lines. So we talked about the standard form for lines already. Now we're going to say that the general form for a linear equation is called slope-intercept form. And we write it like this: y is equal to mx plus b, where we call the m, whatever that number is, our slope, and the b is the y-intercept. That kind of means where the line crosses the y-axis. I'll write that right here, y-axis. So in our first example, I already have a line for us, and we're going to try to write an equation for this line in slope-intercept form. So as you can see, we only need two things. The first thing that we need is the slope, and then the second thing that we need is the y-intercept. If I can find those two values, then I can just plug them into this form right up above. So I have my line, and I'm going to look for 2 points on the line. I could pick any 2 points that I want, and from those points I can find the slope. So I'm going to pick these 2 points right here. This first point is 0, 4. And this other one is 1, 2. So let's find the slope. M is equal to 4 minus 2. So the change in the y's, all divided by 0 minus 1. Change in the x's. So this is negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. So I found my slope. Awesome. Negative 2. Now the y-intercept means where does my orange line cross the y-axis, and it crosses right here at 4. So the y-intercept is the number 4. So all I got to do now is write my equation. Y is equal to the slope, negative 2x, plus the y-intercept, which is 4. And I'm done. Okay? For our next example, I want you to write an equation of the line passing through the point 2, negative 3 that is parallel to the line with the equation y is equal to 6x plus 4. So in this example, we do not have a picture with a line. I'm just given a little bit of information. So what we know about parallel lines is that they have the same slope. So if the original line is already written in slope-intercept form, I could see, oh, the slope was 6. So that means that my new line that is parallel to it is also going to have a slope of the number 6. So I have one out of the two things already done. The other thing that I need to find, though, is the y-intercept. And it's hard because I don't have a picture to figure it out. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to write the equation. If it were in slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, and I'm going to use this point that my parallel line passes through. The x is going to be the 2, and the y is going to be the negative 3, and I also know what the slope is. It is 6. That way I can find out what my b is. So let's just plug those in. Negative 3 is equal to m, which is 6, times 2 plus b. So I can solve for b. This is 12. If I subtract 12 on both sides, I'm going to find that my b is equal to negative 15. So I have my b, I have my slope, my m. I can put them together. Y is equal to 6x minus 15. And I'm done. Both of these lines have the same slope, where the first one crosses the y-intercept, or the y-axis, at 4, and the other one all the way down at negative 15. Okay? The next example is pretty similar. This time it wants you to write an equation of the line passing through a new point. It is 3, negative 4, but this time the new line is perpendicular to this line below, the line with the equation y is equal to negative 1/2 x minus 1. So The original line has the slope -1/2. Okay. If I'm going to figure out the slope of a line that's perpendicular to this, remember it's going to be the opposite reciprocal. So since it is already negative, my new slope is going to be positive. And the reciprocal of 1/2 is just the number 2. 2 over 1. Okay, I'm just going to write 2 though. So now, just like I did in the example before, I'm going to write slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. Now I have my new slope to plug in. And I know that I have one point that my perpendicular line passes through. The x that I'm going to plug in here is 3. The y is -4, and this way I can solve for b, which is my y-intercept. So you can do all of this without drawing any picture. 2 times 3 is 6, so if I subtract that on both sides, I'm going to find that b is equal to -10. So now I can combine the slope and the new y-intercept to write my perpendicular line. Y is equal to 2x minus 10, and I'm done. Awesome. Piece of cake. So I have one last example for you guys today. This one says to graph 3x plus 4y, which is equal to 12. And what I want you to do is I want you to actually graph it a different way than you've been doing. There's one way where we plugged in different values for x, and we found different values for y, and we plotted all those points and connected them. Okay. The example that we did at the very beginning was looking at the y-intercept and having that, and then moving with the slope, or if I just had a point, moving with the slope. This time I want you to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's write the equation. 3x plus 4y is equal to 12. If I plug in, instead of the y, if I plug in the value of 0 into my equation, I'm going to be able to find what the x-intercept is. So this just turns into 0. I'm left with 3x is equal to 12. When I divide both sides by 3, I find that x is equal to 4, which means that the line is going to be crossing the x-axis at 4. So I'm going to put a dot right there, because really it's crossing at 4, 0, because I put 0 for the y. I'm going to rewrite the same equation. 3x plus 4y is equal to 12. But this time I'm going to replace the x with a 0. This is going to help me to find my y-intercept. So this becomes 0. I'm left with 4y is equal to 12. If you divide both sides by 4, we're going to find that y is equal to 3, which means that I'm going to plot the point 0, 3, because I plugged in 0 for x, which is right up here. So I have 2 points right there. Piece of cake. Connect them with your ruler, and you are done. So we learned several different ways to graph, things related to parallel lines, to perpendicular lines. On your own, I just have one more thing that I would like you to do. I want you to graph this new equation, 2x minus 3y, which is equal to -12. It's written in standard form. So now I want you to do this just as we did right up above by finding the x and the y-intercepts and plotting those on your graph and then connecting the dots. So come with any questions you might have to class, and I'll see you tomorrow.